Welcome to Next Level Magic with your host Astrid Coyote, and that's me. Hi. Today, I'm offering up a call to arms of sorts for all the rebel visionaries out there who have always known that there was more to this life, that there was more to this game that we are playing. And I want to talk to you about it today. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of it today. I want to read your fucking soul. I want to lay it all down and have you decide if you want to fucking pick it up or leave it there. I'm feeling feisty today, I must say. I'm feeling a little feisty, which always happens. Always fucking happens after that going dark phase that I talked about in the last episode. Always. So that's usually what happens, and it's a cycle, and it's a fucking game I love to play, that's for sure. It sucks whenever you're in it. It sucks. Sometimes all you want to do is get out of it. And it's so tempting to just try and pull yourself out and be like, oh, what can I do to feel better and all of this? But it is so much better when you just lean into it. You just allow yourself to fall fully into it and know that it's creating something game-changing inside of you. And so that's why I really want to dive into a little bit more today, dive a little bit deeper into the shit that really isn't talked about, like the really tough stuff that people try and avoid. And actually, if we look at it, basically everything that you see online is just sorry if you can hear my chair squeaking. Basically everything that we see online, though, it's like a solution or a fix. It's like, I don't know. Who doesn't want to feel better, especially if you're in somewhat of a hole of a situation in your life? Then obviously you're going to this is one of the things about marketing, is that everybody is either, running away from pain or running towards pleasure. And so, of course, that's, the sort of thing that makes us take action the most. But there's not a whole lot. I guess there's more these days about accepting of where you are and all of that. But I think it's just really common ground for creators who don't really know that they are meant to experience this freaking darkness, to try to escape it, to try and run away from the pain of it, or to run towards the pleasure that lies outside of it, or to try and, skip this part, or, find little solutions. I'm actually being reminded right now of the scene in Fight Club whenever Tyler put the kiss on his hand and it's all burning, the acid is burning, and he goes into his little happy place, into the ice cave, and Tyler's like, no, don't fucking leave, feel it all. That's what I'm reminded of right now. And if you don't know, Fight Club is one of my number one favorite movies, next to Waking Life. I think they're both tied for number one. Those are my two favorite movies of all time. Anyways, that's what I'm just reminded of. It's just I think that people are too quick to try and move through this part that can be so severe. I don't want to use the word hard, because it's not what it is. It's not hard. It can suck, that's for sure. But it's not so much hard. I think that hard is an easy way out. Hard requires a solution or to make it easier. And really what we want to do here is to experience it all. And I just wrote a whole letter. I guess you could call it a letter to my soulmate people, that you can read under the podcast in the blog area. Just talking about just kind of what it's like to go through this. And I feel like it's really appropriate to talk about this again, because collectively, we are, as a human collective, are experiencing some really freaking heavy shit. There's a war taking place. I think Australia got flooded out pretty bad. I know one of my clients said that there was 3 meters of water in their family home. I know that there's a ton of crazy shit happening, and aside from that, like, everything is just heavy too, astrologically. I can feel it. It's not like heavy in a negative way. It's like a preparation type of way. It's like a labor pain almost. And it's also an opportunity for us to fully play with what's available here. Like, how come we can only play with the cool stuff? How come we can only play with the stuff that is, like, collectively decided that this is the fun stuff to play with? Like, why can't this stuff be fun too? Why can't the dark, heavy stuff be fun too? I know that sounds crazy as fuck. I never claimed to be sane, okay? I never freaking claimed that I was ever going to make sense to anybody except for maybe my own mind and the other people that reside there. Just kidding. But really, I mean, when you're invited into the cave, like, think of it that way. Like, humanity is being invited into the cave. Like, we are getting the opportunity for all of the shit that is just a no-go anymore to rise to the surface so that we can really do something about it. I mean, just now while I was recording this podcast, I got a fucking Amber Alert, right? There's so much bullshit that wants to be eradicated in this world that is just showing itself to us through the external reflection of our internal, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. It doesn't change just because you're not viewing the world consciously from this paradigm. It still is its law, right? It is absolute law, and you have a responsibility that when invited into the cave, which is this going dark phase that we are all invited into, especially right now. I can feel it. It is universal at this moment. When we are invited into the cave of the goddess, that we are there to be transformed. And who the fuck are you to reject that invitation, right? I know that, like, a lot of people that follow me and engage with me really get this concept, but I also know that not a lot of people who talk the talk are walking the walk. There are not a lot of people that I know who are actually doing the damn thing. And you can see it based on their life, maybe your life. I'm not saying that to, like, sound rude or condescending or conceited or, arrogant or anything like that. I'm saying it as a wake-up call, as a decision that gets to be made to be in integrity with the vision. Like, when you're being invited into this cave to transform, you have a responsibility to transform, because what is going on inside of each of us is reflected into our world. And the more that you allow yourself to shift and to heal and to let those pieces of you fall off that are no longer yours to carry, you get to do stuff. You get to gather the resources to go out and do things like contribute to ending human trafficking. Even if you're not one of those guys that goes out there and actually busts these pedo rings or whatever else it is, you can contribute a lot of freaking money to fund those types of endeavors. You have the resources to do things that you don't have the resources to do when you're constantly putting your hand up and saying, no, I will not accept your invitation into the cave. No, thank you. I'm good. Right? And so this podcast is, yes, it's a call to arms. It's a message to my soul people. And it's a moment for you to decide, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep trying to fight with your dark? Are you going to keep on trying to run away from it? Are you going to keep on looking at these moments as, oh, I'm sabotaging, or oh, I'm procrastinating, or this or that or the other, or whatever kind of thing that coming from the paradigm and the dogma that we were all raised in is the wrong thing to feel or the wrong thing to be doing? Feeling in those moments whenever you felt like you've lost your connection to magic, you've lost your motivation, you've lost your inspiration, those are universal things, especially for creators, especially for alchemists, especially people who are here to transform consciousness and to bring a new consciousness onto the planet. These are normal things. And for some people, sure, yeah, the people who are still functioning on the do paradigm, the get shit done paradigm, yeah, maybe those people are sabotaging and procrastinating. But what's happening to you is that just other, like these layers of bullshit and these paradigms that do not matter to you anymore and what you're really here to do, they're falling off. And the only reason that you experience it as something that you have to avoid is because you have not learned to dance yet. You haven't learned to dance with it yet. You haven't fully accepted your responsibility to the vision that lives within you. And this is what this podcast today, this is what this blog today is about giving you an invitation to step into, to fully fucking step into the cave, to decide what it's going to be. Because you have so much magic in you. You have so much magic for you to be saying and thinking that you're not ready. The mere fact that you're listening to this right now means that you're ready. You are ready for your next level, whatever that next level looks like. Doesn't matter if you're a stay-at-home mom or, a mom that works and has 3 kids, or a single dad, or a doctor or a lawyer, a psychologist, a hairdresser, because we have them all in this community. We are literally everywhere. Truck drivers, everything, plumbers, like we're everywhere. And those are, maybe a current occupation or something like that. But there is more to it, and you feel that and you know that. And accepting the invitation and accepting the responsibility for the vision that you see inside of you makes you automatically a better mom, a better dad, better at your job or your profession if that's what you're passionate about. But it activates, it catalyzes a new shift in consciousness. It allows for that transformation to take place within each of us the way that it must. And I'm not saying that it must because we have to, single-handedly end all the corruption in the world. I mean, this is a polar world. This realm is polar. There's probably always going to be evil. But what I'm saying is, why the fuck will we keep on looking around at shit that we don't like and then just continuing to ignore it or complain about it without doing anything within ourselves? It's not your responsibility to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's not your responsibility to single-handedly end a fucking war or to end whatever it is that you feel passionate about being like an activist for. But it is absolutely your responsibility to become the version of you that can actually sustain that vision, to actually be able to have ideas that work and that are not coming from the old paradigm, but that are new solutions coming from a new paradigm, one that works better, that functions in a way where we get to build new systems, where we get to build systems built on self-respect and respect of others, and just so many other types of morality things that, we think that we want. But all of that, it requires us to not run away from this dark. Like, it requires us to really be in it. And one of my friends right now I know is heavy going through it. And she's doing exactly what she needs to be doing. And that is sitting with it and being with it and fully fucking going there. And she's been doing this for so long. And I know you're listening. I think you're listening. I'm proud of you. Because it is not easy. If you look back at my YouTube channel, I think in 2020, you'll see I was going through a heavy And every time it kind of like peeks its head out, now I know what it is. And so I just walk my happy little ass into the cave, right? And I like go there because I know that that's my opportunity to shed other like layers of shit that I haven't been able to shed before. And I know that whenever it looks like I'm sabotaging, I know exactly what's happening, right? Because I've learned to dance. And the only way you can actually learn to dance is to get your toes stepped on a few times, right? So I think I'm going to leave you with that. I don't want this to be too long, but hopefully you feel activated by this. Hopefully you have a little bit of clarity and motivation to decide to be okay where you are, to understand that going into the cave is a part of it, understanding that this is a part of you having, like, taking responsibility for the vision. And if you're not in this dark, I mean, you're going to be eventually, right? You're going to experience it eventually. And that gets to be okay, whether you're in it or you're not. Like I said in the blog post, like, the tough shit is just not talked about nearly as much as it should be. I was trying to say enough and as much as it should be at the same time. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about it. And so here we are. All right. So if you want to reach out to me on Instagram, you can DM me. I've put my handle at the end of the blog post, or you can find me on Astrid Coyote. That's the handle. Or you can email me at astrid@thewickedweaver.com if you are interested in coming into my high-level one-on-one 6-week one-on-one program called Rebel Visionary. Definitely hit me up. Let's have a conversation to figure out, if you feel called to it, to figure out why you feel called to it, which is obvious. But if you don't feel called to a high-level program, you can still DM me. And then I always have Fuck Yes Your Life available right underneath the blog. And one more little quick announcement here. I am going to be launching the app this week. So keep your eyes peeled for Next Level Magick, the app, with a cool ass group membership. And I'm also going to be putting on a free training and Q&A inside the app. I want to do those pretty regularly. But to kick off the membership, I'm going to be hosting an epic as fuck mystic money injection type of, I don't know if it's not really a challenge, but an upgrade. It's an upgrade for sure, to help you bring in money, to help you understand how freaking, unlimited resources actually are, and to be able to open up to those resources again so that you can, do the things in the world that you want to do, like experience the things that you're passionate about creating and changing, and get to have the freaking resources to do that, to back yourself, to really fucking back yourself and stand for what you say you stand for, right? And to, create epic things. So anyways, that's going to do it for me. This is Astrid again. And this was Next Level Podcast, or Next Level Magick. I will talk to you next time.